Michael Bettine here, and today I'd like to talk to you about gong types and styles and give you a little example of the different sounds. Most people know the standard symphonic chow type gong. This is a Paiste 32-inch symphonic. It's got a flat face, a slightly raised face over here, and a bent edge. So let's take a look at the construction. Here's the smaller version. This is a Paiste 13-inch deco gong. Starts out as a flat piece of metal. The edge is hammered in, and you can see we have hammer marks here which raise the surface. So while it's a flat face gong, it's not completely flat. The brighter part here is actually raised up a bit above the rim. And what that does, it puts tension in the metal. If we just had a completely flat face, we wouldn't get all the harmonics. We would just get pretty much a solid pitch, more like a bell plate. So this will give us a lot of rich harmonics. Due to the type of shape. A similar one is the chow gong. Here's a 16-inch Chinese chow gong, commonly known as a bullseye gong in some places. Again, this starts out as a cast piece of metal, small piece. It's heated, it's hammered, the metal is stretched out. That puts tension in it too. Here's the edge is hammered. We can see hammer marks here. And the face is slightly raised from the edge. So these are the typical gongs most people are familiar with. Another popular flat gong is the wind or lion gong. So named because it sounds either like the wind rushing or a lion roaring. No edge on this one. It's flat, but if you can see, it's actually parabolic in shape. Again, if we had just a flat piece, it would be more like a bell plate. We wouldn't get all the harmonics. So this is hammered, creating the shape, creating the tension. And we get more of a roaring crash. Again, like the name, wind or lion. Here's another type of Chinese gong. Fairly deep, flat edge, and a very, very flat face. This is a Hangang Gong. Flat face, we're getting a little more the bell tone. And even if we play by the edge, now we're just getting harmonics, and we're not getting the centered pitch tone. But that's a Hangang Gong. Real popular type are the Chinese opera gongs. These are usually small, 9 to 12 inches in diameter. And if you can see, it's got a really kind of a sloping face here to really fairly raised center, a small center. And the center is hammered a lot. It's fairly thin, fairly flexible. These are the type of gongs you get your pitch bend with. So different types, different styles. And the raised face, and again, it's really hammered in the center. If you can see that, a lot of hammer marks. Thins the metal, creates a lot of tension, and you get this wonderful pitch bend. Here's another example of a flat gong. And basically, this is just a metal disc. This is a Tibetan style gong. I think this one was actually made in India. It's just a cast disc of metal. And very much like a bell plate. This is fairly thick, fairly heavy, so you're not getting a lot of vibration. It's not tensioned in any way, it's just cast. So you get a solid pitch. No big harmonics, no big crash. So that's basic flat face gongs. Now let's take a look at bossed gongs. All right, let's talk about gongs with boss. A boss, also known as a cup or knob or nipple, is a raised center in the gong. This is a gamelan gong. And what happens here, the raised center is hammered and it's very stiff. It's very hard. It doesn't vibrate like the face of a gong would or like a flat gong. So you get a more definite pitch. This also has a really deep end here. And this one is made of fairly heavy bronze. This one weighs about 6.5 pounds and it's only 13 inches in diameter. But you get a real focused tone out of it. A definite pitch. You can also play off the boss and get a few more harmonics in there. But generally these are used as pitched gongs, either tuned to specific notes in a Western scale or in like a gamelan orchestra. They're all tuned to themselves. Focused tone that way. Similar, we have the Thai gong or Burma gong from Thailand. Same sort of construction. We have a nice center boss. This one has the face actually raises and then comes down a bit and goes back up towards the edge. Not as deep as the gamelan one, but you get the same sort of focused sound. A few more harmonics. It's a much thinner gong. But again, that focused pitch. Now something like this can go from like 6 inches up to 30 inches in diameter. Same thing with the gamelan ones, like 13 maybe up to 30 inches or so. You get the big ones that are made out of solid bronze and you're talking a lot of weight. 30, 50 pounds, maybe more, depending on the size. Now, a lot of the gamelans, too, are using what's an iron gong, like this. This is a 20-inch iron gong. And the big difference with this, it's got a sloping side. The edge is folded back. And it's also made out of multiple pieces, whereas the Thai gong and the other gamelan gong forged out of one piece of metal. This is actually 3 different pieces. We have the face, we have the cup. Sometimes these are bronze cups put onto iron, but this is an iron, solid iron one. It's painted bronze color. And if you can see here, here's a weld, and here's a weld going all the way around. So the back pieces can be 1 or 2 pieces of curved metal. Much thinner, much lighter, much cheaper to make. So, especially for a traveling gamelan, they'll use iron gongs because they're easy to move. Bronze gongs, very heavy, very fragile, and the gamelan stays in one place. Again, we're getting a big pitch. Not as much resonance, not as much lasting tone as a corresponding bronze gong. And then we can get more harmonics. We play near the edge. Here's one from Tibet. Same sort of design. You've got the raised center boss, not too deep an edge. The big difference here is it's engraved. They do a lot of etching on the gongs, various religious symbols. And again, a nice focused tone. A little more of a harmonic crash on the edge. But you've got that focused tone in the center. This is a Chinese bao gong. Again, very similar construction. This one's about 13 inches in diameter. These can go from about 6 inches up to, again, maybe 30 inches. You get the big ones. They're very, very heavy. You need a big mallet to get all that metal moving, and not fun to carry around if you have a bunch of them. Nice focused pitch. Another one I have, this is a small one. This is about 6 inches in diameter. This is made by Steve Huback from Wales. Great gong maker over in Europe. And he made this when he was in Iceland. It's a small nickel silver bossed gong. Really need a harder mallet to bring the tone out. Very similar to the old Peisty tune gongs. Fairly flat, little indentation, nice boss on it, and a gentle curved edge here, not a dramatic, flat or going back like some. So, that's flat-faced and bossed gongs. See you next time.